Hello, welcome to Live Out Loud with First Baptist Church in Jacksonville. My name is Caleb, and today I want to ponder the question, what? For a lot of my life, and even still recently, I've seen and heard a lot of examples and opinions of people who say that it's not healthy or may even be dangerous to question God or the Bible. While I don't think this is 100% false, I do think we're missing something if we don't admit that asking questions is healthy. Much of the book of Psalms wouldn't exist if people of faith didn't sometimes ask God questions. Just this past week, we had a very great message on our regular Sunday morning service in the book of Habakkuk that starts with asking God a question. So, as the old saying goes, there are no dumb questions. Or, as I used to say in the past when I had customer service jobs, I'd rather answer a silly question than something go wrong and deal with a mistake. It's okay to ask questions. That's how we learn. If we have a desire to ask, then behind that is a need to learn and to want to know something new. We just need to exercise that need and curiosity in constructive ways like prayer, study, and reaching out to pastors, teachers, or other believers. Of course, the question that is often the most tempting to ask is why? I read a great piece of advice recently that can help us reframe situations we find ourselves in if we were to ask a different question instead of just why. Not long ago, I was reading another piece of advice where someone was giving an example of dealing with bad news. Rather than getting mad, the author had trained himself to ask, is there anything I can do about this? If there is, what can I do? Probably within the same month, I was expressing frustration with my wife about something. It was either work or news. I don't recall. It might have been both. And in her wisdom, she unknowingly echoed this piece of advice that I had already read. She said, Caleb, what can you do about it? Whenever we find ourselves in hard times or distressed about the state of things, instead of asking God why did this happen? Why would you allow that? Why are things this way? It can be more helpful to our journey and personal spiritual growth if we ask God, what? What should I learn from this? What can I do to help here? What does or can this mean for me, my family, the church, or any group or community that I'm a part of? Often the why of things is beyond our understanding. It's a really hard pill to swallow, and even in the terms of writing and delivering this devotion, I don't like to admit it. But we don't have the scope or knowledge or wisdom that God does. It's tough or even impossible sometimes for us to see the big picture. As people with our sin nature that we grapple with every day, we are imperfect beings. All of this, of course, isn't to say it's wrong to ask why. Just as I said earlier, there are several verses in the Bible and Psalms in Psalms that ask why. Or, like I said, Habakkuk. Again, if you weren't there with us on Sunday the 20th on our Facebook page, please go watch that sermon. It starts with asking God why, and it was fantastic. However, even if we don't always know why something may be the way it is, if we are the called according to God's purpose, as it says in Romans 8, then we can still have a role to play. We just have to have the faith and the clarity not just to ask questions, but to ask the right questions. Lord, what would you have me do? And more importantly, then follow up on it. If we ask a question, we should expect an answer. And if we're expecting an answer, we need to have the strength and faith to accept that answer. And if the answer instructs us to do something, to do it. But one step at a time. We have to walk before we can run. And the first step I'm suggesting today is it's okay speaking to God and asking good, healthy, constructive questions. Then listen and see how He helps and wants you to grow with the answers. So, with that in mind, thank you again for joining us today. If you'd like to hear more on God's Word or would like to be with a local community, please join us at First Baptist Church on Jacksonville, where we just wrapped up Vacation Bible School by the time you're watching this. You can also visit our Facebook page, where we share these weekly devotions, as well as, like I said, our weekly Sunday services every week. In the meantime, ask questions. Have peace, love on, and God bless.